Hello, good morning, and welcome back. Happy bank holiday to everyone around the world. It is our absolute pleasure to have the beautiful Kirsteen Donaldson with me this morning, all the way from beautiful Scotland. And she's got the most incredible accent. So, to any of my followers, you wouldn't have met Kirsteen before. She crossed my path a while ago, actually. She's a beautiful meditation coach. She still works in corporate at the moment, so we've obviously got that huge resonance with each other, and we've spoken about many things. Kirsteen is extremely conscious. She's got a beautiful family up in Scotland, but today the predominant focus of what we want to talk about is around meditation. So meditation is a huge passion for Kirsteen, and I'm going to get her to share her story shortly. But as you guys know, I do a lot of meditations. I've been doing huge global meditations probably for the last 2 years now. About a year and a bit on Facebook until I got kicked off last November. And then obviously I use Instagram and YouTube to do these nowadays, and Zoom, of course. So Kirsteen, first and foremost, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on, Lucy.
Oh, baby, you are so welcome, and it's so lovely to have you on. I just really thought that my followers, because I've got such a variety of followers, a lot of people love the meditations that I do, a lot of people like the kick-ass stuff that I do, and you've got such a beautiful, calm, soothing energy. I was like, right, this is exactly what they need on a bank holiday Monday. So give us a little bit about yourself, babe. You're married, you've got one child at the moment, you live in Scotland.
So
yeah, just share a little bit, babe, and also, like, if you can bring in like your corporate links and stuff, that would be really good, and then we'll talk about meditation after, if that's okay.
amazing. So I'm married, I've got a little boy, he's 3.5. He is feisty, he is so fired up. And I guess, as you said, I'm still working in corporate at the moment, but last year was a massive transformation for me, for many people. And I work with young people, care experienced young people, and I help them on their employability journey, which I love because I love seeing that I help them sort of transform and build up their skills and their confidence in themselves. And I love it when I'm in the moment and I'm doing it, but I know that it's not where I want to be forever. I know that that's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm not on this path at the moment to do it. So last year, as I said, was a huge transformational year for me. At the start of everything that's going on round about March, I was so fearful of everything. I was absolutely up in my head. I was living in complete fear, and I had really shut myself down. It had been quite a challenging year at the start of the year last year for me. I unfortunately miscarried, which was really difficult for me. And it got me on quite a bad downward spiral. That happened at the very start of January last year. And it kind of led me into going to seek out some support and some help that wasn't with immediate family, because it was quite challenging to have that conversation and to work through things that I had to work through. So I ended up going for a few counselling sessions, which were great at the time, but I kind of always came away feeling it's just not really helping me the way that I need that support. So after two sessions, I kind of said, look, I'm going to leave it, that's fine. And then later on in the year, around sort of June, July time, I really started delving deep into meditation again. It was something that I had done before having my little one. And I did hypnobirthing when I was pregnant with him, so there was a lot about the breath and connecting with the body then, and it was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. But the meditation really, as I said, it was something I did before. I practiced on my way to work. If I was sitting on the subway, I would be sitting with my earphones in, and I would be doing some headspace work. And I really connected with the meditation, but I don't think I really took it particularly seriously, as serious as I take it now. It was something that I just kind of did, and maybe do 5-10 minutes. Whereas last year I went through a massive personal shift. I did loads of personal development stuff, a few different courses, and it led me on to focusing on meditation being an absolute non-negotiable for me every single day, multiple times a day. As I said, I had quite a challenging start to last year, and I was totally living in fear at the start of the first lockdown.
I think
And
it's
emotions were high.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful that you share that, actually, because it's easy for people to forget how it was at the beginning. Now,
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, as you're probably aware, I haven't been fearful through any of this. Even when we were watching the bodies dropping down in China last January, it didn't stack up to me. But that's because I'd been being primed for the previous 3 years. So I'm a little bit different to most people. So when I stand in my truth and people say, how can you be so certain? I've kind of been primed for this for a few years. And I love the fact that you vulnerably shared, first and foremost, my huge apologies. I feel the pain around the miscarriage, having, had some myself. I can completely resonate with that. And it's just awful. To be able to get yourself back on your feet, is massively commendable. And that impacted them by a lockdown. It's no surprise that you went into fear and into a bit of a spiral. So thank you for sharing that. I know that will resonate with a lot of my followers. There's probably a lot of emotion taking place as they're watching this right now, because, we do forget very quickly. We forget, we move on, we move past it, we awaken, especially at the moment we're ascending at such a beautiful rate that, like this time last year, I mean, what were we even doing? It's kind of that mentality right now. So thank you for sharing that. So talk to me a little bit more about stepping back into meditation, because I love the fact that you say you kind of like didn't really focus on it, because I'll be honest, you know Donna very well, but for everybody that doesn't know Donna, Donna is my right-hand woman. She works with me in Self-Love Club. She's my assistant. She literally does everything with me and for me. So she's just incredible. And I remember doing a session, I don't know, maybe it was even in Scotland actually. And she said to me something about meditation. And I was like, babe, I've got this feeling that you just don't meditate properly. You kind of like pretend that you're meditating. And she was like, I can't get anything past you, can I? And I actually feel that a lot of people do that. A lot of people actually just kind of sit there for 5 minutes or so and they're just like, oh, I'm just going to do this because I know it's supposed to be good for me. But you don't actually surrender to it. And I can certainly resonate with that as well. So obviously huge emotional trauma led you back to meditation. So when you say you started to take it seriously around June, July of last year, talk to me about that a little bit.
So I had joined a personal development program. It was a 21-day course, and I wasn't sure what I was expecting to happen in 21 days, but it literally changed my mind. It changed the way I was looking at everything. It was also at that time that I started to really, truly awaken. So there was a lot that really happened in that time. And when I look back at the journals that I was keeping, and I had never kept a journal up until last year. It wasn't something that I did. I just was like, I don't even know what a journal is. Like, do I need to get something that's got prompts in it? Or can I just literally have a pen and paper and just write stuff down? But when I look back at the shift and the change and how quick it happened, I knew within 3 days of starting that course that there was a different path that I wanted to take, completely different to where I was. And one of the main and the first things that came out of that course was your morning routine and setting yourself up in the morning. And a big part of that was meditation. And that's one of the things that's really stuck with me. I am still sometimes struggle with getting up as early as what I was in the morning. I was getting up at 5 a.m. last year, fine, no problem. But a few things have happened, it's kind of like slipped back, but sometimes I still manage to do it. But regardless, I will always carve out that time for meditating. As I kind of touched on earlier, emotions were really high at the start of lockdown last year. There was tension in the house. There were arguments happening between me and my husband. I don't want to kind of go down too much of a different route, but I had get caught up in a lot of the noise that was happening in the world last year. And I really struggled to get out of my brain, get out of the monkey mind. And I was really absorbing everything that was happening. And I don't think I truly realised at the time just how much I was taking on pain and trauma from other people, and I was really bringing that into myself, and this had happened just before I started this 21-day course. And as soon as I started meditating, I was literally like a totally different person. And I'm talking, it was only maybe 10-15 minutes in the morning, and then I enjoyed it so much in the morning. I enjoyed how positive and how grounded it made me feel, that I very quickly started not just meditating once in the morning, but I would meditate throughout my day. I had to be like, I need 5-10 minutes, and I would just go and sit, and I would really connect in with myself, and then I would meditate at night as well. So it very quickly spiraled into something that was an absolute priority in my life, because my husband said to me, he was like, I can tell when you've not meditated. Yeah, and the little one can tell when I've not meditated. He's like, Mummy, go and meditate. Because I was just switching so quickly to the hottest head and losing my temper with the little one. And I've always sort of said, I want to be really calm, really present, and I want to veer more to the gentle parenting side of it. I wouldn't ever say that I wouldn't put myself in that bracket, but that's what resonates with me. And I don't ever want him to carry the burden of me not keeping my shit together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love the fact that you've said that, because I was pretty much the same. When I started meditating properly, it spiraled out of control. And you guys know I meditate like 5-6 times a day now. I have to. But in fact, that's led me quite nicely on, because I meditate when I'm running, for example. I meditate when I'm cooking, for example. It's like this, like you said, grounding and connection exercise for me. It's not just about sitting there peacefully or laying down and I do make sure that because I like to lie down and meditate because I'm so visionary. So I do that twice a day, but I always, like when I run, I meditate, like I just said about cooking. So what's your preferred choice of meditation? Like how do you do your meditation as a preferred option?
I quite like being still and being silent.
Yeah.
But I also definitely, cooking and also cleaning can be quite a meditative process for me. I think it's to do with the repetition of moves and just being focused on something, but really meditation is just all about the awareness. And I think, as you were saying earlier, sometimes people can really struggle with how do you meditate properly, and as long as you are fully present with yourself and fully aware. And I lead guided meditation, so I love a guided meditation, but at the same time, you don't need that. You really, really don't need that. As long as you're fully present and you're aware of the moment, of the breath, and just kind of really centered and grounded within yourself, then that's meditating. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I love that, because I actually prefer to do meditations on my own without guidance. It took me a long time to be able to meditate properly with guidance, because I'm easily distracted. I'm one of those people, the monkey brain ticks constantly. So, for me to be able to be still, admittedly, that was a while ago now, and my brain is relatively still these days. However, I find when somebody's talking, I focus so much on what they're talking about that I forget to allow myself to just go. And but then I've had some incredible experiences also from guided meditation as well. So I know that you do guided meditation on your Instagram channel. Do you just want to share your Instagram channel, and then I'll pop it in the description below?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mouthful because I couldn't get what I wanted, but it's at here.now.with.Kirsteen. It's a pain in the arse, and I kind of regret it, but I'm with it now, so I'm just rolling with it.
What I'll do though is I'll pop the link below so people can just follow you on Instagram, because you do meditations on there, don't you, quite regularly?
Yeah.
And the reason I reached out to you, actually, because we've been talking about doing this video for a very, 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 very long time now, probably about 6-8 months. And the reason I reached out to you actually to do it now was I noticed that you've got some new cards out.
I do. So this is something that I've been working on a very, very long, probably about the same amount of time, maybe slightly longer than we've been talking about this video. So yeah, as you said, I've been doing when I started my my Instagram channel, I started doing what I had coined midday meditation moments. And that was 3 times a week, on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday at 12:15. And my thought process behind that was, at the time, there were so many people throughout lockdown that I personally was following, and that I know there were some huge names that were going on and doing like morning meditations, which was amazing because hundreds and thousands of people were logging on, and it was amazing just to see that sense of community and just feel the energy in it. And then there was also people that I was following that were doing evening meditations, and I was kind of like, but what about the people that just need that 5-10 minutes in the middle of the afternoon just to chill out and to really come back to self? So the idea behind it was to do a short 10-15 minute meditation at lunchtime. And obviously I save it so people can come back if that time doesn't suit them. And then it just went down so well. People really, really enjoyed it. But over the past few months, was it last month? Just with my schedule changing, and it was taking up quite a lot of time when I had a lot of other things going on. So I now only do it on a Monday, but I still save them. And there's a whole backlog that are saved on my IGTV that people can go in and access at different times. Some of them are scripted ones that I've learned through the training that I've done. And there's others that I actually, I have a friend who's very connected to spirit, and she kept on sending me a message saying, I'm getting told that you're getting channeled through these. And I was like, I think I might be. And I'm still fairly new on my spot, sort of what I would call my spiritual journey, my awakening. But there's definitely signs that I get. There's some meditations that I do where it's just like chills and goosebumps all over my body. And I have no idea what's coming out my mouth, but they're the most incredible blooming things that ever happen. And I'm like, okay, I think I might be. And she's like, yeah, you definitely are. They're telling me that there's things coming through, which is incredible. And that kind of led me to, you were talking about the cards, and I've got them here. But I, as I said, I meditate multiple times a day. And I use apps on my phones when I'm wanting to do a guided meditation. And I found, this leads on to why I designed these, but I found that I was actually spending quite a lot of time scrolling through the apps on my phone, sometimes longer than what I would end up meditating for, to try and find the perfect meditation. Which, when I realised, I thought, this is absolutely bonkers. Why are you not just kind of going with the flow a wee bit more? Why are you focusing and procrastinating? Because it was totally procrastination. And I also had not long ordered these.
They're mine.
They're yours. Yeah. And this was the first affirmation deck that I had ever had. And I was using these every single day. And I was like, why?
Exactly.
Why don't I design a meditation card deck? So then I started having a little bit of a look around, and I could see that there was a handful of decks that I could find online, but some of them were very simple and basic, and it was maybe a word or a phrase, and it was like, meditate on this. And I was like, that's great if you're quite an advanced meditator and you just need a little bit of a prompt. And then there was other ones that was more a card explaining a very traditional type of meditation, which was, again, great for a certain type of meditator, but I didn't feel like they were particularly accessible and user-friendly. And that's where these guys came in.
Your own, which is amazing, babe. So would you shuffle and just pick us one?
Yeah. So when I was doing this, again, I some of it I just kind of surrendered, and I was like, right, tell me what needs to go in. And there was some...
That's what I did with every one of my affirmation cards. I just basically said, tell me what you want me to put on them, and I'll put them on there. And I actually had a list of about 60 or 70, and then Donna and I, bless her, we had to go through and cherry pick them out. So I get it completely. Again, just to all of my followers, the card link will be below here.
Yeah. So I had a list, and exactly like that. There was some that at the very start when I started doing this, because I started thinking about this back in November. And I'd started writing down, right, okay, what would people want? And as time went on, I I kind of parked the idea for a little while and I stopped working on it. There was a number of other things that were going on. And then in February, I was like, right, I really feel drawn to going back to these. And I went back and looked at my list and I was like, whoa, like, that just doesn't resonate with me anymore because so much has changed. And I've gained so much more experience and just connecting a little bit more, well, a lot more than what I was before. So as I said, I then just said, like, I am open, tell me what needs to go on this. And I would use my little pendulum and be like, is this the idea? And use the guidance from that I was getting from my higher self. And some of the ones that came through, I was like, I wasn't expecting that to go on. And the writing process to make sure that, so I'll pull one for you. This is really funny because it'll be backwards, which is annoying, but it's a Vipassana one, so it's a very traditional meditation style, which goes exactly what I was saying. But I'll pull another one so that you can see that there's some others that aren't. There's things like forgiveness.
Oh, beautiful.
There's ones about self-love in there. There's body scans, walking meditation. So there are different options.
Yeah.
And when I was doing it, I wanted there to be a few. So I didn't want it to just be a word or a sentence and that was you, on you go, on your merry way, because if you're not really sure how to do that yourself, because like you said, it took me a long time to feel comfortable to just really be present within myself without any distractions. I wanted there to be just a few bullet points that were going to help people to really have a quick read through. And when you're doing it, you can use these however you want to use them. There's no set way to do it. If you want to follow it step by step and that's how you do it, or if you want to have a wee read through and go, okay, that's great, but I'm going to just allow myself to go with the flow, then amazing. Like, they're just prompts, I call them.
To just, direct the mind, isn't it? Because our minds are so busy. And it's interesting, I've been channeling the information, the energy updates for May, and it's very much about that. It's very much about getting the mind in alignment. So these are, like you say, they're amazing prompts.
Yeah, and that's what I called them. I didn't want to call them meditation cards. I wanted to call them prompt cards, meditation prompt cards. So there's 30 unique, and they're all completely different. And there's some of them that when I read back, I go, that's not me that's written that. Like my fingers typed it, but there's words on there that just aren't words that are in my daily vocabulary. So it's really funny to read them back. But yeah, bringing in your bliss. So there's like loads of really nice ones. There's more of your sort of traditional type of just
nice
bringing things in. There's some visualizations in there, and the feedback so far has been so lovely because I kind of put them out and I thought, are people going to like these? Are people going to want them? Is it something that people want? And I think more and more people now are so conscious of screen time and phone use, and the apps are amazing. I love them. I actually upload onto some of the apps myself, so I'm not bashing the apps at all because they're great, all of the different meditation apps you can do. But if you just want to, in the morning or at night before you go to bed, do a little meditation, you just need a little bit of a prompt, but you don't want to be looking at your phone, then I think that they're really helpful.
I'll be honest with you, I don't use any of the apps, and the reason I don't is I'm on my phone enough. You've absolutely nailed it. I just do not want to be on my phone anymore, and I do feel that the consciousness on that is becoming far greater. Absolutely. Now, obviously you can use your phone consciously. Listening to meditation is a great way to do that. However, like there are people out there. So that's why I said to you about it, because I think they're a great idea. I really do. And do people buy them from your website, or how do people buy them?
Yeah, I've got a link on my website where you can just go on and you can buy them directly. I also, I don't even know where it came from, but you can purchase them with a little bundle of Palo Santo sticks to kind of set up your meditation space. And it was really lovely, actually. I had a woman reach out to me and she was like, I'm a yoga teacher, but I've just started up an online wellness shop. Would I be able to do a little bulk order? Because I think this would go down really well with some of my yoga clients. And I've had a few yoga teachers reach out and say these will be amazing for a short meditation at the end of my yoga classes. So there's things that are kind of coming in that I never even expected. Like I think I made them thinking, oh, some friends and family might buy them, and who knows what will happen. But yeah, it's amazing. There's been people reaching out that I don't know who they are, and they're buying them, and I'm like,
yeah,
yeah.
I love, hopefully this will give you some inspiration, because I keep sending packages abroad. So I'm sending bundles to Australia, bundles to America, you know, so keep holding on in there, girl, because I truly believe that these things are going to be, you know, tools. For me personally, I know we touched on rituals and getting your morning set up right at the beginning of this chat. Like for me, my rituals are a non-negotiable. It's 2 hours every single morning. And I do, you know, use my own affirmation cards, because a bit like you, most of them I read and I'm like, I didn't do that one. And I find them really inspirational. Sometimes I get goosebumps at my own words. It's so bizarre. But I also like use my angel cards, and so my morning, you know, consists of so much. You know, it consists of so much, and it's not ever on my phone. Ever. And that's the thing. My phone is the last thing that I want to pick up in the morning. So I will literally pick up my phone as I'm about to go out the door for the run that everybody knows that I do every single morning. And that's the time that I like grab my phone, and then I'll put something on in my ears or whatever. But and I know that there's a lot more people like me now that are saying, no, you know, I need to have this time, I need to be present. So I think that this is a really great option, Kirsteen, and what a wonderful gift that you channeled for yourself, you know, purely by looking at something and going, oh my gosh, I can actually do this and turn it into something. You know, I think it's remarkable. Well done for trusting it.
Oh, thank you. It took a lot, and I as I said, I put it on the back burner, and I was like, there was that resistance to doing it, because what if you get judged? What if people think, who are you to do that, because you only fell back into it last year? Yes, I've went through quite extensive training to kind of build up my skills and my experience, but yeah, I think the word surrender just keeps coming up, and just trusting.
And we must all remember, it's a really good point, and I think maybe this is what we'll end on now, the point of our ego. Our ego is there to keep us safe. It's going to question everything that we do. You know, I actually channeled most of the affirmation cards in 2018. I released them in either late 2019 or early 2020. Go figure. So very similar. So, and this is the power of our ego. Nobody wants those. Nobody's going to buy those. Why do people want to hear from you? I mean, I've sold hundreds and hundreds of the things, you know, all over the world. So, you know, keep holding the line there. I really do think that they will be massively successful. And just remind me again, it's Monday you do your meditations on Instagram now.
Yeah, Monday at 12:15. Although it's really interesting, us speaking around kind of like phones and social media, I actually took myself for a social media detox this week, which is why I had to message you a different way, because I was like, on social media at the moment. I did pop on to check, but I still managed to miss it somehow. But yeah, absolutely. 12:15 on a Monday, just not today, because I'm taking the day off. It's the first time I've taken a day off in 6 months. So I again was really guided last week to slow down and to rest, because it's been busy.
And I think that's really good advice for everybody out there. It is time to take your foot off the pedal. It is time to relax. It is time to go inwards. We must love ourselves, because then we're showing everybody else around us how to do that also. Kirsteen, it's my absolute pleasure to have you, my darling, on this morning. Thank you so much. And it's bank holiday, so you know, I'm so grateful to you for giving up some of your time to do this. Ladies and gents, please do subscribe to Kirsteen's channel below. If you want to buy your set of the meditation cards, the information will also be below. And also, if you've got any questions, I'm sure she will check in and see what you guys have got to say at some point. Also, if you'd like to see her back, maybe to do a meditation, maybe we could do a joint meditation or something, please do comment below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, everybody, and we will see you in the next video. Kirsteen, thanks so much.
Thanks, Lucy.